transparency because I'm going through a time within my life. Niece, and I teach you all things connected to intentional lady living so that you can learn how to live a life that I know that you'll absolutely love, one that will allow for you to experience all of the goodness that I know that you are craving within your life. I don't care if it's in your career, if it's in your entrepreneurship endeavors, if it's in your family life, if it is in your faith. Girl, you deserve to live intentionally. And so today we're going to be talking about, in this inspirational moment, the importance of reestablishing your faith. What does it mean to reestablish your faith? And before we dive in, I want you to make sure that you are following me on all of my social media platforms. Whether you are on Pinterest, you can hit me up at Simply Tamia Denise and dive into my content, or if you're on the Instagram or Facebook side or here on YouTube, I want to make sure that you hit that subscribe button and never miss a moment of what it is that I am bringing to you in the form of content. And so I'm super excited to be connected to you once again. I do not want you to do is hear a title like this and kind of think, that's kind of like cliche. I already know where my faith is, and I'm not too sure about that, or I just don't necessarily believe in faith, maybe on the basis of certain things that I have been through. We all have several different ways that we could spin a particular topic like this, but I really want to be able to pull you in on the basis of the fact that I truly believe that whether we decide to operate in our faith or not, faith will always be with us. It'll always be around us. We just have to continue to choose faith so that then we can operate in faith and then see the goodness of what it means to be one that believes and has faith in anything that we decide to do as a momentum within our lives. And so that's just it. You have to have faith to be able to cross the street and not get hit by a car. You have to have faith to be able to love people in your life that might be, in your eyes, unlovable. Faith is needed in so many different areas of your life to just be able to operate on a day-to-day basis. And so I don't want you to look at faith as some deep thing all the time. Yes, sometimes we do have to swim in the deep things and then apply our faith. Let's say we're trusting God to be able to do something for a loved one that is needing your faith to be able to be brought through whatever their trial or just hard moment is. I want you to understand that faith is something that is definitely necessary. Now, I love to start just with full transparency because I'm going through a time within my life where I am having to reestablish my faith, right? God is having to rebuild my foundation of faith in a completely different way, in a way that maybe I never even dreamed that he would have to do so. And so I think it's important that when we share our stories, we allow for ourselves to be vulnerable, to helping to swap certain things that we have dealt with and come through in different areas of our lives, because of the fact that we can totally relate to other people's stories, right? And so within my story, in particular relationships that are in my life, I am having my faith reestablished. There have been different boundaries that have been pushed in terms of trust in these different areas of my life. And I am learning how to trust God to essentially shift my perspective of how I'm seeing the people that I have lost trust for. Now, the thing that's so important for me in this process is that, one, God has given me the opportunity to have a different perspective. Sometimes we can be so stuck in the way that we see things and the way that we think about things to the point where you cannot even take on the opportunities that God is giving you to reestablish your faith, potentially in the areas of trust. The next time you are faced with a situation, I want you to look at the situation in terms of it becoming resolved, or in terms of you building something that was broken. I want you to look at the circumstance from the perspective of you having the opportunity to dive into it and really grow from whatever the lesson is. one thing that I've realized sometimes as women is that we kind of miss the opportunity to be able to grow within the lessons that are being taught to us. Nothing that you're going through within your life is like some kind of terrible mistake. Wherever it is that you are, if you believe God, in terms of Him leading and guiding you in the different areas of your life, then you got to have faith enough to believe that He is taking you through whatever it is that you have been faced with in this particular season of your life. This is not a lifetime sentence, but essentially it is a season. And when you have that perspective and you are teachable, you realize even in the hard things that you can take on the lessons and absolutely turn the hardest experiences within your life into beautiful experiences that essentially will turn into your testimony. So just be encouraged. Do whatever it is that you're faced with, like I am in this particular season of my life. I feel like I have gone through so many different levels of betrayal at so many different times within my personal life. But every single time I've gone through a level of betrayal, I've seen God work in a way to whereas He causes me to trust Him as Father in my life all the more. He changes my perspective. It's almost like He begins to tear the scales from my eyes and He has me to see whoever the person is from a different perspective, from His God-given perspective, which is really important when you're dealing with human beings. Think about your own self in your own circumstance and how you've needed grace through different things that you've done to people, maybe at a more immature time in your particular life. So give people the necessary grace and then walk by faith to be reestablished in whatever that perspective is that you have. Now, I know that this is something that sometimes is so hard. There's a scripture that's found in Hebrews 11, and it talks about the importance of having now faith, right? Now, faith is something that is important. Of course, it's important to have faith every single day of our lives, no matter where we are, no matter how we decide to believe. But at the same time, the faith that we have is hope for faith in many cases. We're not necessarily seeing the fruit of what it is that we're desiring to see manifested within our lives. But that's just the thing, to be able to go on a journey with God in a realm of hoping because of the fact that He's bestowed upon you exactly where you are. Remember, you are His daughter. And so I had to reestablish my faith, reestablish my hearing, reestablish my perspective to understand that, listen, Tamia, your ways are not as high as God's ways, right? He's not looking at things the way you're looking at them, but He's guiding you so that you can have, once again, that God perspective. So I just really want you to work on putting an action step in place that will help to launch you forward to trusting God all the more. You have no idea that when you trust Him in this upcoming season of your life, when you realize that He is trying to reestablish you in a particular area of your life, that you are setting yourself up to be catapulted, to be launched to another level of faith within your life. The way that you believed on yesterday is not the way that you are going to believe on today, which is not the way that you are going to believe tomorrow. So it's important that we go through the different processes as it relates to our faith so that we can be established within our faith as God begins to do a work consistently within our lives. And so as you begin to really have a chance to meditate on that scripture that I gave you in Hebrews 11, I want you to understand that your hope is absolutely necessary, but your hope is not all you need. You have to combine your hope with faith, realizing that as you combine the two, God is going to begin to birth something absolutely beautiful in your life as you begin to participate and as you begin to come into that new level of. You don't have to get to a place within your life where you give up and you say, I'm not going to have faith anymore as it relates to anything, right? Because of the fact that I've kind of been down this street before. I've seen this before. No, life is about having new opportunities to be able to gain new levels of faith. I don't care what it is that you've gone through. And let me let you know that this is a thriver speaking to you that has been through some of the hardest things that I believe a woman can go through within her life. And if I can have the reestablished faith that I go after in God, when I have strength to be able to go after him, when he supplies that strength, then girl, I know that you can go after everything that God has for you as well. And so I'm so blessed to have this opportunity to connect to you in this inspirational moment. And once again, make sure that you're following me on all of my social media platforms. You go through this process of becoming her every single day. I know that God has so much for you, and I'm so excited about your future. Even if you cannot see it, I know that God is working in and through you, and he's going to do amazing things. Make sure that you're following me at Simply Tamia Denise. Check out some of the amazing resources that I have for you upcoming, and also make sure that you connect to the Ladies Society, which is a community that I created to help you to be connected to women that believe in living an intentional lady life as well. Y'all stay sweet, stay beautiful, and let me know in the comments down below where you are reestablishing your faith at this particular season of your life. God is stabilizing you. Stay beautiful.